Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 6 of the 2016 NFL season. Well, anyway, let me get started. The first game is going to be I'm going to take Denver on the road over the San Diego Chargers. As far as Denver goes, they have dominated the series in recent years. They have won 9 of the last 10 against the San Diego Chargers. Denver is still number 1 in sacks. They ran into a buzzsaw last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Kudos to the Falcons, but I don't think Denver is going to lose 2 straight. San Diego, they've had 4 losses by 14 points combined so far this season. They've been a team a little bit of hard luck, but they just have they have a propensity to not finish games. So really, with quarterback Philip Rivers, you always got a chance. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They are at home, so that does give them some hope. But I think Denver is just with their defense is going to be a little bit too much for them. So I like the Broncos in this one. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills at home to defeat the San Francisco 49ers. Buffalo is on a little bit of a roll. They've won 3 consecutive games. They're one of the better teams in turnover differentials at +9. Linebacker Lorenzo Alexander has 7 sacks, one of the leaders in the NFL in sacks. It seems like when head coach Rex Ryan, there was all this speculation going on about him maybe being terminated. Ever since then, this Buffalo Bills team has just woke up and they've been revitalized. You have San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be starting, looks like Colin Kaepernick in this game. San Francisco is going in an opposite direction than Buffalo. San Francisco has lost 4 consecutive games. They're giving up like around 28 points per game. And the run defense is just abysmal on this team. I do like Buffalo to keep the winning streak going, and I like Buffalo at home in this one. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins at home over the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Washington Redskins have reeled off 3 consecutive wins. They look like they're back in business right now. They've won the last 3 against the Eagles. Now, Philadelphia, they have been playing very well. Maybe they're plummeting to earth. They lost a close one last week against the Detroit Lions. Philadelphia's still, okay, they're number 2 in scoring defense. Quarterback Carson Wentz is still having a very good season. They are number 1 in time of possession, so this could be a game in which they can control time of possession, dominate the clock, and they have a shot to win this game. Philadelphia has superseded expectations. And their safety, Rodney McLeod, has had a very good season, and he's going to have to play very big in this game. I think if they have a chance of winning, he's one of their better defenders. But that being said, Washington at home, I do like the Redskins to win. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans at home over the Cleveland Browns. Now Tennessee Titans, they played very well last week. I know it was against the Miami Dolphins, but it was still a solid road win. It's funny that you look at Tennessee Titans, it might actually be conceivable that they could win this division because we might be seeing a decline with Houston and Indianapolis. And, early in the season, it would be preposterous maybe to think that Tennessee could even be in this position. But you just don't know. In this division right now, and you have a linebacker, Brian Orakpo, is having a very solid season, one of the NFL leaders in sacks. DeMarco Murray rushed for over 100 yards last week. And really, you have this team right now, if they could just keep doing this and playing cohesively, they could be a good team. Now, you look at the Cleveland Browns. Now, Cleveland Browns, though, they're 0-5. They are 1-10 in their last 11 road games, and really they're only averaging 17.4 points per game. The offense is putrid. But their main bright spot right now is running back Isaiah Crowell. He's one of the leaders in the NFL in rushing, and Tennessee is number 2 in rushing yards per game. Cleveland is one of the leaders too. I believe number 5 in rushing yards per game. So it's going to be a very good battle as far as the running game goes, and be interesting to see which side wins out in this. But I think Tennessee, being at home, given the fact too that Cleveland has not even won a game this season in there, the fact that they have not played well on the road in recent years, I do like the Tennessee Titans to emerge victorious. Now the next game, well, I'm going to take the New York Giants at home to defeat the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Giants right now, their Achilles heel is that defensive front. They only have 4 sacks on the season. I think it's imperative they're going to have to get to Joe Flacco in this game. I understand Baltimore only scored 10 points in that last game they had, but I mean, Joe Flacco is still a very solid, experienced quarterback, and they're going to have to try to get some pressure on him if they have a chance of winning. I think they'll be able to do this enough to win the game. Baltimore, okay, they had a little bit, their ravenous defense did show up last week, okay, but only scoring 10 points, and really, their last 2 games have not really played that well. Their offense did not do much last week, but that being said, Baltimore is still an experienced team, and Baltimore, I think, can still has almost an even shot of winning this. Giants, though, being in a desperate situation, they don't want to go too far down in terms of being behind the first place team in the NFC East. So I think I do like the Giants in this one with the sense of urgency in being at home. So I'm taking the Giants to win this one at home. Now let's see, the next game is going to be, I'm going to take New Orleans at home over the Carolina Panthers. Now the Saints, I mean, the main difference is just the fact that the Saints, I think their offense is a little bit better than Carolina. New Orleans is averaging 28.5 points per game. They're also number 2 in passing yards per game. Quarterback Drew Brees, and being at home, they do have a good shot to win this one. Carolina has underachieved this season. I mean, they lost like 17-14 last week to Tampa Bay. I know they had their second-string quarterback in, but still, I mean, being at home, they had no business losing to Tampa Bay like that. And whether Cam Newton comes back or not, I'm still going to take the Saints. Linebacker Luke Kuechly is still one of the bright spots on the team. He's tied for the NFL lead in tackles. And really, I just think that right now that Carolina is reeling. I don't quite understand what's going on with them. I know the loss of cornerback Josh Norman has definitely hurt them big time, and it has been to their detriment, but there's more going on than this, and just really this team, to me, it just doesn't even remotely resemble the team that went to the Super Bowl last season. So I'm taking the Saints in this one at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears at home to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now Chicago, their quarterback Brian Hoyer has thrown for over 1,000 yards in the last 3 games. He has really been impressive, and even though it was a loss last week, they still look halfway decent. Now Jacksonville is 1-16 in their last 17 road games, and they're 5-21 when quarterback Blake Bortles has at least 1 turnover. My feeling is he's going to get at least 1 in this game. I do like Chicago to win this one. Jacksonville is coming off, a bye week, and they were in London. Now they got to travel on the road to Chicago. It just doesn't bode well for them. So I'm taking the Bears at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions at home to defeat the LA Rams. Now, Detroit, I mean, they have one of the best wide receivers in the league with Marvin Jones. He's number 1 in receiving yards. And also, I mean, the 2 games at home, they were both decided by 1 point. They won one and they lost one. They could have very easily beaten the Titans, but they gave up a last-minute touchdown or somewhere near the last minute of the game that Titans scored a TD on them. And you look at the LA Rams, this is a very mercurial and unpredictable team. They had come off 3 consecutive wins. They were looking very good. And then they play Buffalo and they lose 30-19. And really, they've scored over 19 points only 1 time this season. And it's just that, to me, I don't know if I trust the Rams offense in this particular game. And Detroit Lions, Something tells me they're just going to get it going on the offensive end in this game, and I think that will be a little bit better than the Rams' defense. So I am going to take Detroit at home to win this one. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road to defeat the Miami Dolphins. Now, Pittsburgh, they look like they're back in business. They've outscored the opposition 74-27. The last two games, wide receiver Antonio Brown, of course, he's a beast. And you got that three-headed monster with him, Roethlisberger, and Le'Veon Bell. They're going to be very tough to beat. In Miami, right now, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. They have the number 32 run defense in the league. They're giving up nearly 151 yards on the ground. This does not seem good for them. They're also number 32 in time of possession average, and they just don't really hold on to the ball very long. And the one win Miami has this season was against Cleveland, and that was by 6 points. I believe that went into overtime. I like Pittsburgh to win on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take New England Patriots at home to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. New England 24-3 at home. They're everything but invincible and unbeatable at this home stadium. Quarterback Tom Brady, he showed no signs of rust last week. He threw for 400 passing yards. Unbelievable performance for being missing the first 4 games due to the suspension because of the Deflategate scandal. Now, Cincinnati Bengals, it's really hard to see that this team just has not played well this year. They've lost 3 of their last 4, and they are reeling right now. They have underachieved. They have their 2 wins were against teams with losing records, and they're going to play a game on the road against a team with a winning record right now. I know they got Andy Dalton and A.J. Green. They have a great 1-2 combination with the quarterback and receiver, but I just don't think that's going to be enough. I do like the Patriots to keep it going and win again and win at home. So I'm taking New England. Now, the next game. Well, talk about a team. I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders at home over the Kansas City Chiefs. Talk about a team that superseded expectations. Oakland is playing very well. 4-1 right now. They are going to be at home, and you look at them. Their only loss was to, I believe it was to Atlanta, and look how Atlanta is playing. Now, the Oakland Raiders. Now, they are playing, like a team possessed. Their defense is something to be desired. It seems almost like their philosophy is we're going to just outscore you. But the thing is, I understand they're trying as hard as they can on the defensive end, of course. But for whatever reason, the defense has faltered. You look at Kansas City. Now, in Kansas City, they have underachieved. They're 2-2. They're 0-2 on the road this season. And They only have in their last 2 games, they have a total of 3 offensive touchdowns. So the offense is sputtering a little bit. And they certainly haven't played to their potential. This was a team that had division title aspirations, I believe, going into the season. And now you have Oakland in first place. And I think Oakland's going to keep it going. I do like Oakland with David Carr, Michael Crabtree, the receiver. The quarterback and receivers, that offense is just playing exceptionally well. And I do like Oakland to keep it going and win this game. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks at home to win over the Atlanta Falcons. Seattle is number 3 in scoring defense. They're number 2 in pass defense. It's going to be an interesting battle because Atlanta right now is number 1 total score in scoring offense and in passing offense. And you have Seattle, as I stated before, number 3 number 2 in pass defense. It'll be an interesting battle. I'm thinking that very possibly that on Seattle you're going to have the cornerback Richard Sherman match up against stellar wide receiver Julio Jones. That should be a battle for the ages. I just think Seattle being at home, they're coming off the bye week. This is a team that has been for a few years, they've been a perennial Super Bowl contender. I do, and this being at Seattle, very hard place to play. And I think Seattle would like nothing more than to stop Atlanta's streak right now. And I think they will be able to do just that. Seattle's still a very good team. We cannot forget about them. And I do like Seattle to win at home. Now, the next game. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers at home over the Dallas Cowboys. Green Bay, #1 in rushing defense right now. The defense is healthier. They're 8-3 coming off a bye since 2008. And I believe that was since Aaron Rodgers has been quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. So you have Dallas, okay. Dallas, seems like they may very well be for real. We're going to see if it's going to be Tony Romo or Dak Prescott as the starting quarterback. There's a little bit controversy over this. And Tony Romo, if he starts, people are wondering if he's going to disrupt the chemistry of this team. But either way, okay, you got running back Ezekiel Elliott. He's #1 in rushing yards. The team is 4-1. So whether they start Romo or Prescott, they're still going to play very well in this game. I just feel that with Green Bay being at home, okay, this is a team right now that really that is a team to really be reckoned with. I made a mistake before. I was talking about Green Bay being 8-3 coming off the bye since 2008. They did play the Giants last week. I do apologize for that. But still, Green Bay being at home, they are one of the, this is still, Green Bay is still that team to be reckoned with. And we have to remember that this is a team with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They have the defense is getting healthier, and I do like them to win in this one at home. Now, anyway, the next game. Well, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts to win on the road against the Houston Texans. Indianapolis is averaging 27.4 points per game. Their offense is better than Houston. Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, they have a very lethal quarterback-receiver combination. I think they're going to get it going. You look at Houston, they're going to be without the services of J.J. Watt. They're last in scoring offense in the NFL. Their success, of course, it's predicated on their defense more so than a lot of the other teams. But they are #1 in pass defense, so that's something to look at this game. And they are at home, so they have a halfway decent shot of winning this game. But the way I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that the Indianapolis Colts are just too good just to lose this particular game, and they want to be able to stay in the hunt for the division title. And I think with the Colts offense, it looks to me like it is starting to go in the right direction where it needs to be going. They lost a close one to Jacksonville at London, which I felt, Indy very conceivably could have won that game, and they did beat Chicago last week, and I think they're going to continue. The offense is going to continue to play well, and it should be good enough to beat Houston. So I like the Colts to win on the road. Now, last but not least, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals to defeat the New York Jets. Arizona is at home. They have 7 defensive interceptions. The New York Jets, of course, are prone to throw interceptions. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who I call the NFL's interception machine, has 10 INTs right now, although he did play much better last week. This is going to be a primetime game. It is at Arizona, and really, the one thing that the Jets do have in their favor, they've won 5 consecutive against the Cardinals. So they do have that streak going, but this is a different year. The Cardinals are still, I think, a better team than the New York Jets. I think the Cardinals win last week against the 49ers. This should maybe catapult them to perhaps playing better the rest of the way. And I don't know if it's going to be Carson Palmer or if it's going to be Stanton's going to be playing. But either way, it's going to be at Arizona. It's prime time, and I do like the Cardinals to win this one. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my picks and analysis for Week 6 of the 2016 NFL season. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.